The signal from beyond. The sky above the Atacama Desert never looked so vast and endless as it did to Dr. Elena Reyes that night. For 3 years, she had directed the Deep Space Listening Initiative, scanning the cosmos for signs of intelligence beyond Earth. Her team had mapped radiation patterns, cataloged stellar anomalies, and chased countless false positives. But tonight was different. Tonight, the universe had answered back. "Dr. Rice, you need to see this," called Marcus Way, her systems analyst, his voice trembling with excitement. The signal repeats every 107 seconds with perfect precision. It's a pattern of prime numbers. Elena stared at the monitor, her coffee forgotten in her hand. The waveform pulsed with mathematical certainty, a clear sign of artificial origin. More startling was its point of origin, a supposedly empty region of space, 42 light-years from Earth. "Run full diagnostics," she ordered, struggling to keep her voice steady. "And notify Director Hammond immediately." Within 48 hours, observatories worldwide had confirmed the signal. Within a week, the United Nations Security Council convened an emergency session. By the month's end, the International Space Coalition announced the formation of an expeditionary mission, Prometheus. The mission would send humanity's most advanced vessel, the ISV Horizon, to investigate not just the signal's origin, but also a newly discovered object in the Kuiper Belt, an artifact of clearly non-human design that had somehow remained hidden from Earth's observations until now. Scientists theorized the signal had activated dormant systems within the artifact, revealing its presence. Dr. Elena Reyes found herself appointed as the mission's scientific director, alongside Commander Maya Jackson, a veteran astronaut with 3 deep space missions under her belt. "How does something that size hide in our own solar system?" Commander Jackson asked during their first briefing aboard the Horizon, looking at holographic projections of the artifact, a gleaming, obsidian structure roughly 1 kilometer in diameter. "It didn't hide," replied Dr. Kai Nomura, the team's physicist. "Based on our analysis, it existed partially out of phase with our reality. The signal somehow aligned it fully with our dimensional space." The journey to the Kuiper Belt took 3 weeks. As they approached the artifact, the crew of 22 specialists fell silent on the observation deck. The structure hung against the star field like a perfect geometric anomaly, a dodecahedron of impossible smoothness that absorbed rather than reflected light. "No obvious entry points," noted Security Chief Diallo, scanning the surface. "No emissions, no energy signatures." But as the horizon approached within 5 kilometers, the artifact responded. A section of its surface rippled like liquid, forming an opening large enough for their shuttle to enter. "It's inviting us in," whispered Elena. Commander Jackson made the call. "Prep the landing team. Full containment protocols, but remember, first contact procedures take priority over everything else." The landing team consisted of Elena, Commander Jackson, Chief Diallo, Dr. Nomura, and Dr. Sarah Chen, their xenobiologist. Their shuttle passed through the opening, which sealed behind them with unsettling fluidity. Inside, they discovered an artificial atmosphere and gravity. "Breathable air," confirmed Dr. Chen, checking her instruments, "almost exactly Earth standard. This wasn't made by accident." The interior defied human architectural understanding. Corridors shifted and reconnected in ways that shouldn't be physically possible. Surfaces displayed moving patterns that seemed to respond to their thoughts rather than their touch, and at the center of the structure, they found a vast spherical chamber. "Look at the walls," gasped Nomura. The chamber's interior projected what appeared to be a map of the galaxy, but with countless points illuminated by pulsing lights. As they entered further, the map zoomed to focus on Earth, displaying timelines of human evolution and civilization. "It knows us," said Elena. "It's been watching us." In the center of the chamber floated a crystalline object roughly the size of a human heart. It pulsed with inner light that matched the rhythm of the signal they had detected from Earth. "The beacon," Elena realized, approaching it. "Dr. Rice, I advise caution," warned Diallo, but Elena felt drawn to the object, as if it were calling specifically to her. When her fingers touched its surface, the chamber exploded with light. Information flooded directly into Elena's consciousness, not as words or images, but as pure understanding. She saw the history of an ancient race called the progenitors, who had seeded life throughout the galaxy over billions of years. She witnessed their greatest achievement and their greatest fear, the void, a cosmic force of entropy that threatened to unravel reality itself. And she understood humanity's place in it all. Elena collapsed to her knees, gasping. The others rushed to her side, but stopped short when they saw her eyes, now glowing with the same inner light as the crystal. "Are you all right?" Commander Jackson asked, concern etched on her face. "They made us," Elena whispered, her voice overlaid with harmonic tones. "Humanity wasn't just another evolutionary experiment. We were their final solution, their ultimate weapon against the void." "Who made us?" Diallo demanded. "The progenitors. They engineered dozens of species across the galaxy, each with different capabilities and purposes. But humans were different. We were designed to evolve, to adapt continuously. Our DNA contains dormant sequences that are beginning to activate now." "Activate how?" asked Dr. Chen. "What are we supposed to become?" Elena looked at her companions, the knowledge from the beacon expanding in her mind. Something beyond what we currently understand as human. The next stage in conscious evolution. The progenitors built these beacons as activation signals, placed them throughout the galaxy, hoping their creations would find them when the time came. "And that time is now," Commander Jackson guessed. Elena nodded grimly. "The void is returning, and we're not the only ones who know. There are others, the Sentinels, who believe the progenitors' plan was too dangerous. They've dedicated themselves to preventing species like us from reaching our potential." As if responding to her words, the artifact shuddered. External sensors on the horizon detected multiple objects entering the solar system, massive vessels on direct course for Earth. "The Sentinels," Elena confirmed, the knowledge flowing through her. "They've detected the beacon's activation. They're coming to stop us before we can complete the transformation." Commander Jackson's communication device chimed with an urgent message from the horizon. "Commander, we're detecting multiple unidentified vessels entering the system, moving at impossible speeds. They'll reach Earth within days." "We need to warn Earth," Diallo stated. "We need to do more than warn them," Elena replied, her connection to the beacon strengthening. "We need to bring this back. The transformation has already begun in me. It needs to spread to all of humanity if we're going to survive what's coming." As they raced back to their shuttle, the artifact began to reconfigure itself, sections of it flowing like quicksilver and solidifying into a smaller object. "It's changing," Namura observed, "becoming portable." "It's coming with us," Elena stated with certainty. "The progenitors planned for this moment for millions of years. Now we have days to prepare humanity for both its greatest threat and its ultimate destiny." The horizon broke orbit with the transformed artifact secured in its hold, racing back to Earth ahead of the approaching Sentinel fleet. As they journeyed, Elena's transformation accelerated. She could perceive reality beyond normal human senses, could manipulate energy with her thoughts, and could connect with the minds of the crew without speaking. And deep within the DNA of every human on Earth, ancient programming began to stir, awaiting the beacon's full activation. Humanity ascendant. Earth received the horizon's warning with the expected mix of skepticism, fear, and determination. World leaders gathered in emergency session, while military forces worldwide mobilized against a threat they could barely comprehend. The approaching Sentinel vessels, 7 massive crystalline ships in perfect formation, were detected by deep space arrays 3 days before their arrival. When the horizon reached Earth orbit, Elena insisted on bringing the transformed artifact directly to the United Nations headquarters in New York. Her appearance shocked the gathered delegates, her eyes now permanently luminous, her skin faintly iridescent, her movements possessing an otherworldly grace. The approaching vessels belong to the Sentinels, she explained to the General Assembly, her voice carrying effortlessly through the chamber without need of amplification. They believe they're protecting the galaxy by preventing species like ours from evolving beyond certain boundaries. But they don't understand what the progenitors created us to face. And what exactly is that, Dr. Reyes? Asked the Secretary General. The void, Elena answered simply. A cosmic force of pure entropy that consumes ordered systems and reduces them to chaos. It has destroyed thousands of civilizations over billions of years. The progenitors engineered life throughout the galaxy in an attempt to create species that could counter it. And they believe humans are the answer. The skepticism in the room was palpable. Elena smiled. We are not just the answer. We are their masterpiece. Human consciousness, human creativity, human adaptability. These aren't accidental traits. We were designed with dormant potential that could be activated when needed. She gestured to the artifact, now reduced to the size of a small obelisk. This beacon is already affecting human DNA worldwide. People are beginning to experience the first stages of transformation. The Sentinels have come to stop this process before it completes. Reports had indeed been flooding in from around the world. People experiencing sudden insights, inexplicable abilities, shared dreams. A child in Mumbai spontaneously began speaking languages she'd never studied. A firefighter in Sydney emerged unharmed from flames that should have killed him. Mathematicians worldwide simultaneously solved problems that had stumped humanity for centuries. The planet was awakening. The Secretary General looked grim. Dr. Rice, our most advanced weapons systems can't hope to match what we're seeing in these approaching vessels. What do you propose we do? Fight in ways they don't expect, Elena replied. The transformation grants different abilities to different individuals. Some will develop enhanced intelligence, others psychokinetic capabilities, others resistance to extreme conditions. As humans connect through the awakening consciousness, these individual abilities become part of a collective resource. The defensive strategy took shape rapidly. Traditional military forces would be supplemented by newly emerging enhanced individuals. Elena, now in constant communion with the artifact, served as the nexus point for the awakening human consciousness, not controlling it, but helping coordinate its chaotic evolution. 2 days later, the Sentinel fleet entered Earth orbit. Their massive vessels cast shadows over major cities as they positioned themselves around the planet. Their leader broadcast a message received simultaneously by every communication device on Earth. Humanity, we are the Sentinels, guardians of cosmic order. You have activated a progenitor beacon, violating the natural progression of evolution. Surrender the device and submit to genetic regression, or face extinction. You have 6 hours to comply. The response came not from world leaders, but from Elena, channeling the collective will of awakening humanity. We decline. We understand our purpose now. We will fulfill it. The attack began without further warning. The Sentinel vessels fired energy weapons designed to destroy planetary defense systems and communication networks in a single strike. But something unexpected happened. Billions of awakening human minds, increasingly connected through the beacon's influence, focused their collective will on probability manipulation. The devastating weapons found their effectiveness drastically reduced, their energy dispersing harmlessly into the atmosphere. Across the planet, ordinary humans with extraordinary new abilities joined the resistance. In Beijing, Dr. Lin Wei discovered she could perceive electromagnetic fields and redirected Sentinel targeting systems away from population centers. In Lagos, teenager Ed Bayo Okafor manifested the ability to generate protective energy fields that shielded entire neighborhoods from attack. In Rio de Janeiro, retired physics professor Isabella Santos suddenly understood the principles behind Sentinel propulsion and helped Earth forces disable 2 of their engines. The Sentinels, facing unexpected resistance, escalated their assault. They deployed autonomous drones that targeted the most powerful of the awakened humans, including Elena and the Horizon crew. The battle ravaged cities worldwide, But with each passing hour, more humans awakened to their potential, joining the collective defense. Alina, her consciousness now expanded beyond normal human limitations, perceived a vulnerability in the Sentinel tactics. They operated with perfect coordination but rigid programming, unable to adapt to the chaotic creativity of human resistance. They're trying to isolate the beacon, she communicated to the worldwide network of awakened minds. They believe destroying it will reverse the transformation. Then we protect it at all costs, came the collective response. The beacon, now housed in a secure facility beneath New York, pulsed with increasing energy as the transformation accelerated. Alina and the most powerfully awakened humans gathered there, forming the focal point of resistance. The Sentinel leader, recognizing the critical location, directed all remaining forces toward New York. The final battle would determine humanity's fate. As Sentinel forces converged, Alina completed her transformation. Her physical form dissolved into pure energy, merging with the beacon itself. Through her expanded consciousness, she spoke to every human mind. The progenitors created us for this moment, not to fight, but to transcend. The void cannot be defeated through conventional means. It can only be transformed. That is our true purpose. We don't fight entropy. We redirect it. We don't resist chaos. We harness it. This is the gift of human consciousness, creative evolution. Around the world, humans began to understand. The collective mind shifted from defensive resistance to something entirely new. Instead of deflecting Sentinel attacks, they began absorbing them, channeling the energy into accelerating their transformation. The Sentinel leader, detecting the shift, initiated direct communication with Alina. You do not understand what you're becoming. The progenitors' plan was flawed. They believed consciousness could evolve beyond physical limitation, but such power corrupts inevitably. You're wrong, Alina responded. The progenitors understood something fundamental about humans that you've missed. We value connection above power. Our strength isn't in domination, but in cooperation. Watch. As the Sentinel forces prepared their final assault, humanity completed its transformation. Billions of individual minds remained distinct yet connected in a vast network of shared consciousness. Physical bodies evolved, adapting to channel and direct energy in ways previously impossible. And most importantly, human creativity, that uniquely chaotic, unpredictable force, expanded to encompass reality itself. When the Sentinels fired their planet-killer weapon, humanity didn't resist. They redirected. The destructive energy flowed through the human consciousness network, was transformed, and returned not as a weapon, but as a wave of creative potential that enveloped the Sentinel fleet. The effect was immediate. Sentinel vessels didn't explode or disintegrate. They transformed. Their rigid crystalline structures flowed like water, reconfiguring into organic forms that resonated with the new human consciousness. This is what the progenitors intended, Alina communicated to the stunned Sentinel leader. Not destruction, but transformation. The void consumes order and structure. We counter it not by imposing greater order, but by creating adaptive patterns that can evolve faster than entropy can degrade them. The Sentinel leader, experiencing the transformation directly, finally understood. The progenitors hid their true plan even from us. We thought we were protecting the galaxy by maintaining stasis, but stasis is what makes the void stronger. Yes, Alina confirmed. Now join us. The void approaches the galaxy's edge. Together, with all the species the progenitors created, we can meet it not as adversaries, but as transformers. As the transformed Sentinels integrated with the human consciousness network, Earth itself began to change, not destroyed or abandoned, but evolved into something beyond a mere planetary home. Humans retained their individuality while participating in a greater whole, their consciousness able to extend throughout the solar system and beyond. And when the void finally reached the edges of the galaxy months later, it encountered not resistance but invitation. Humanity, along with the transformed Sentinels and other awakened progenitor species, didn't fight the entropy. They channeled it, redirected it, transformed it from a force of destruction into a catalyst for continuous creation. The universe's greatest secret had finally been revealed. Humanity wasn't just another intelligent species. We were the culmination of a billion-year plan designed to transform the fundamental nature of reality itself. The transformation continues to this day, spreading outward from Earth in an ever-expanding wave of conscious evolution. And the universe, once threatened by inevitable heat death, pulses with renewed creative potential, the ultimate legacy of the progenitors, carried forward by their greatest creation, us.